Hello, this is Clarice here. Welcome to episode 30 of the 30 Grandchildren Badge Attempt. There's a lot happening in this episode. We ended episode 29 with the whole household dancing at the Spring Festival after a rather odd egg hunt. Everybody's dancing except for Lionel, and he's standing on his own playing horseshoes. There's Lionel off there playing horseshoes. I think they must all be just about getting worn out by now. They've been dancing for hours, but they are having fun still. But I think they're about to start going home. This looks like it is the Central Park from Sunset Valley, and it looks like the City Hall is from Sunset Valley as well. But the festival grounds has been edited. There's extra bits in it that weren't in the original. Now there is Rachel. She's decided to go home, and I think the others will all start wandering off now as well. Of course, Rachel is the latest imaginary friend to be made real. She's still got a lot to learn before she'll be allowed to move out and be a townie in Cake Island. This world, of course, is The Great Southern Land by Frog Princess Q. There were no Sims in it to start with, and I've had to add my own Sims, which is what I wanted to do anyway, so that was good. That's Wilfred there with the red hair. He's going to play horseshoes with Lionel. He's the one who's going to be getting married in the next episode. The other imaginary friend that's in the household at the moment is Clara, and that's her over there, the blonde, playing horseshoes by herself. Wilfred and Lionel have a competition of horseshoes. I don't think either of them are much good at it. So we'll leave them all enjoying themselves at the Spring Festival, and we'll head off home now and see them when they get home later on in the morning. Here's Wilfred at home. The household collection of gnomes is growing. Now, if you watched last episode, you would have seen Wilfred visit Graham's pet swap shop, and when he was there he bought a few things, including a pet rock, and that's what he's playing with at the moment, his pet rock. Just trying to show you the pictures. There's a face painted on the pet rock. I've discovered it can be really annoying for a Sim to have a pet rock in their inventory. And the Sim sitting there reading near where Wilfred is, that's Wendy, and she is going to be his bride. And that's Chris in the background. He's going to end up marrying Constance, but there'll be a lot more episodes before Constance gets married to Chris. So Chris has got heaps of time to get all his skills sorted. Clara wanted to collect a few seeds, so she headed off to the Stone's Throw greenhouse where she found her seeds. We needed to plant some seeds in the garden as well. So the reasons for this visit was to get her some more lifetime happiness points as quickly as possible, and to give her something to plant to help her gardening skill and to increase the number of plants that are growing in their garden. And she was quite fortunate because she picked up a death flower. They haven't grown any death flowers yet, so there's only a couple of them with her death flower in the inventory, and both of them have been picked up at the greenhouse when looking for seeds. Back at home, Rachel is spending more and more time at that board breaker. I checked, and she does have the disciplined trait, so that explains her obsession with breaking boards. It was dark and it was late, and Chris was missing, so I went looking for him and found him here dancing with one of the local townies. That's Del DeMarco that he's dancing with. I made her to live in Monte Vista when I first got it, and that guy with the red hair near the middle of the screen, that is Bruce Winterbottom. He was living in the same household as Del DeMarco at the time when I first got Monte Vista, but he's a much older Sim I've had for a lot longer. I think I've got a newer version of him in this game. You've seen him before as the Ghostbuster, but a lot of the Sims in this township are Ghostbusters, and he's there chatting to Liz Flute. I haven't played her much. I think she's a bit of a troublemaker, but I can't remember much about her just right now. You do see her occasionally around town at nightclubs and bars and things. She's always got that really tight, very short red dress on. That's her formal dress. The building that they're in is that red big square one closest to the camera there. It seems to be attached to the diner. I can't quite work out how that's set up. Anyway, it's next to the diner. A lot of Sims out tonight having fun. There's Mark and Wilfred catching up on their reading. They're sitting at the kitchen table or the dining room table. Sort of serves as both. Wilfred's reading recipes. He accidentally got an extra level of cooking skill, so that gave him access to a few more recipes to read. Mark's into the recipes and the fishing books still. Cat's enjoying the facilities. I don't think Wilfred's going to make much progress with the cats. He was supposed to be befriending the cats, but he's not putting much effort into it. Lionel is working hard at his reading. He will get there shortly. He's Latoya's future spouse. Stan's ready to go, so he's just playing the piano and having fun. He's just waiting for his turn to go and meet his future spouse, who will be Sharonda. But there's a few weddings to go before he gets his opportunity. And Clara has come home and she's just enjoying the piano music. She's got lots to learn yet to get her to work in the garden. I think her gardening skill's about 1 or 2 at this point. Rachel's gardening skill is way down at the same level as Clara's, and I did just manage to drag her away from the board breaker, but she's still in her outfit for doing martial arts. We're starting to collect a few spring gnomes as well. Clara's planting some of the seeds that she collected, but unfortunately she can't plant many of them because she can't plant the seeds that require her to have level 5 or level 7 in gardening, which is most of the seeds she just collected. So it'll be a while before we get more seeds planted in this garden. That's Lionel and Mark reading at the kitchen table now. There seems to be a popular spot for the Sims when they go in to read their books. Chris just woke up after a late night out dancing on the town, and his fishing skill, it's so low it doesn't even register. So I've sent him down to the wishing well. He's trying to get a lucky coin, but he missed out. Got all soaked instead. But now he's just going to stand here and fish until he grows some fishing skill. We need him to get up to level 7 so he can read all his fishing books. So we'll leave him at that. We don't want to have to sit here and watch him fish for hours. Meanwhile, upstairs the lights are out because Wilfred is telling a ghost story, but he's only got one in his audience, and that's Karen. She's there sitting on the floor enjoying the story. Jack should be reading his books, but he's watching Clarice play the piano. And Clarice, her future spouse is Kobe, and she came in about the same time as Stan, so she's got most of her skills and read most of her books. She might still have a bit to do, but I think she's just about ready to meet Kobe and get married. But again, like Stan, she's got to wait a while. There's at least 3 or 4 weddings to happen before she'll get her chance. Clarice is getting really good on the piano, and she's so far the only one who's been wishing to learn the pieces of music that are provided by the game for the Sims to learn. There are songs for them to learn, and she's been working her way through them. So it'd be good if I could let you hear her playing the piano, but I'll just have to put other music in because it might be copyrighted. And of course, deleting the audio from this part of the video will also delete Wilfred's telling of the ghost story. Sorry about that. Meanwhile, I've got to get Jack away from this, just standing there enjoying the music, and start reading some books. Downstairs, somebody has decided to wake up Bonehilda. We put the Bonehilda in this basement because several of them had a very lucrative wish to buy a Bonehilda coffin. And since I won't be playing with them for very long, I do want them to get some lifetime happiness points. And it was worth 1,500 points for each of the ones that were having the wish. So we got a Bonehilda coffin, and here she is. I wonder what she's going to get up to. You never can tell with Bonehilda. We don't have a dog, so she can't obsess over training the dog constantly. And there's no hopscotch court, so she can't decide to play hopscotch 24/7 for the rest of the game. We'll just see what she gets up to. I wonder who kicked that gnome over. Good on you, Lionel. It needed standing up again. By now, several members of the household have been to the greenhouse to collect seeds, and we're about to get right into gardening in a big way. And Wilfred's there trying to befriend the cat. I think he was just brushing it, but he doesn't do it often enough. He mainly just ignores the poor little thing, and he wants to become a BFF with 3 of them. I can't see that happening. I think Wilfred may not be going to make his lifetime wish happen. So let's leave them all there as they continue gardening. As you can see, the garden's getting bigger. Lots more seeds have been planted now. You might notice there's a lot more gnomes around, with the exception of the spring gnomes. The rest of them are mostly coming out of the wishing well while the Sims are fishing. The couple of springtime gnomes that they've got were collected at the festival grounds when they were doing festival egg hunts. Looks like there must be a pumpkin vine in the garden somewhere, and Jack found pumpkin, decided to sit down and carve it. Oh, caught that gnome in the act of popping away. That's the summertime gnome in the foreground there. They picked that one up from the base camp. Hello, Oh, that's the way they're falling over. Bonehilda's kicking them. That's not good, Bonehilda. We don't like you kicking over the gnomes. That's her obsession with this game. The kicker over of magic gnomes. Or she's got wedding bells. She must know that there's a wedding coming up shortly. The funny thing is that she thinks about it for a while, then she turns around and she picks the gnome up again. And I've observed her since, and she just goes around the house. She patrols all the gnomes. She kicks them over. She thinks about it for a few seconds, then she turns around and picks them up. So summertime gnome's back up on his feet. But not for long. It takes her no time at all, and she's got him down on his back again. Poor little Mr. Gnome. But she'll come back and she'll pick him up. Since it's a Bonehilda obsession for this save, we're not going to watch her every time she does it, because otherwise this whole video will just be Bonehilda kicking over gnomes and picking them up again. Just to prove a point, here she is in action one more time. I think she might have kicked that one over before when I got Lionel to stand it up, because I didn't see her kick it over, but I'm just assuming. So it's down flat in its face. Bonehilda has a little think, starts to walk off. Poor gnome. I don't want to get into trouble. I might get put in my coffin and left there for the rest of the day or forever. Better pick it up. So that's what she did. She's picked it up and now she'll go and find another one to kick over. And all this while, Chris has been downstairs fishing. Hopefully his fishing skill is getting close to level 7. As soon as it gets to level 7, I'll stop him and he can start reading fishing books. Rachel hasn't got a clue about fishing, but she's going to try for a lucky coin first. No, she just got wet as well. But she can stand there and fish and get some fishing skill. And Chris has done his fishing, so now he's just going to sit and read fishing bait books. Back upstairs in the garden, Wendy is just planting the last few of her seeds. It must have been a bit cold outside. It's springtime, it's not winter, but they're all frosty. So they get frosty when the temperature drops. Of course, being indoors, they don't get dormant from the weather. They just go frosty for the first day. I suppose they are dormant for the first day, but then they grow and they're fine. Bonehilda's having time out from kicking gnomes over. She's doing a bit of dancing. Lionel's decided not to bother sitting. He's just reading his recipes and fishing bait books while he's standing up. Looks like that might be Clara there playing the piano. Wilfred's there as well. He and Wendy are about to go on a big date. Most of the rest of the episode are going to be all about Wendy and Wilfred. We've got to get them married. Hopefully they'll be engaged by the end of the episode. Clarice just finished learning another piece of music. Fortunately, Wendy and Wilfred's relationship is already at best friends. It's been developing slowly over time. So we just got to get them romantic and married. So they've headed off to the dome together on a first date. I'm pretty sure it's already been made perfectly clear to both of them that they are going to get married and have babies. And fortunately, Wendy has a desire to have 5 children at least and raise them from baby to teen because she wants to be surrounded by family. And there's Wilfred waiting for her to come. She's gone on the subway and she's taken the long way around. Okay, there she is. They've both arrived. I think they're going to have a little game of hoops first. It looks like Wendy decided not to play hoops. She went straight inside the dome, and Wilfred found Bruce Winterbottom and they had a little game of hoops while Wendy went and checked out what was happening inside in the basement underneath the dome. So this pair are going to have some fun together, so we'll just leave them there. We don't have time to watch long games of hoops between 2 Sims that don't really matter. We've got wedding to plan. We can't afford to have the couple stay just best friends for life. Look what Wendy spotted underneath the dome in the basement. Looks like it's a wedding centre. I think she likes it. Maybe she'll have to have a word or two with Wilfred to see when he's going to be likely to want to get married. They both know it has to happen. It's just when is the only question left, really. But they've got to do some dancing and haven't got romantic at all yet, so they could change their minds and decide to split up before the wedding. Be better to split up before the wedding than after the wedding. They had a little chat at the dome and a bit of a look around and decided it wasn't really where they wanted to be, so they headed off to Blue Water's Fun Park. They thought they'd go for a roller coaster ride together. This roller coaster takes about 1 sim hour for them to get around. It's got 3 big loop-the-loops and all sorts of water things for them to get really dripping wet and possibly even sick in the process. This time I've tried to give you a few close-ups of some of the interesting aspects of their ride. We're going around a loop-the-loop, that's the first one, and there's another one coming up. There it is. Wow. This goes way above the top That's a third loop. The loop. This goes way above the top level of any buildings. Wow, that was a seal jumping up to try to grab them, I think. Lucky the roller coaster cart shot up through the air. Another loop, the loop. I thought there was 3, there's 4 of them. Look at that. It's nearly home. There we go. We're going back to where they started. Let's get off, see if anybody's sick. Wilfred's looking like, oh yeah, Wilfred's going to be sick. Oh, Wilfred. Let's go downstairs and do some eating and some dancing. I wonder where he's going. This is where I want him to be. He's just kept going. Hopefully Wendy can encourage him to come back. She might give him a call. Come on, Wilfred, up here. Let's start. Oh, she's doing this muscle dance. She got sick of waiting for him. He can do a dance too, but I don't think he's up to this muscle dance standard yet. He could be. I think it's time they did a bit of slow dancing. They want to get romantic. That's oh no, they're going to eat. They need to be slow dancing together. That's what we've got to wait for. Oh, she's going to be having her favourite food. Wilfred just bought this at the bar. That's a professional bar from late tonight. You see in the background behind them there's a carousel. I added the carousel to this just to make it a bit different. It's on the exchange but not with the carousel in it because the carousel hadn't been released when I made this fun park. This is my Blue Waters fun park. So Wilfred's finished eating first and he's up dancing on his own again, and Wendy's about to go and ask him to dance, I think. Oh, she's cold. Just convincing him that it would be fun if they just danced together with a nice slow dance. Will he agree? Yes. She's his best friend after all, and she wants to slow dance with him, so why wouldn't he? They've been best friends for ages now. This is the first couple I've had that have actually been best friends when they started their vacation, because most of them are just barely acquaintances, and it's been a hard job getting them to this point. But this two, they just seem to have hit it off, which is good. And they seem to be excellent dancers. I don't see too much standing on toes, and they've changed into their winter outfits. Oh, first kiss. Oh, and she liked it. I think I'm going to give Wilfred a new outerwear outfit. Don't like that red check shirt. His father wears a red check shirt around Cake Island. And he's got the black fingernails that are masquerading as gloves. Maybe I didn't give him a makeover when he aged up to young adult. They're having a nice little chat and a little flirt. So long as they're getting to know each other, I don't mind if they're standing on the dance floor talking and flirting. I wonder what Wilfred's saying. They're having a deep and meaningful stare into each other's eyes and a flirt. A bit of hand, oh, dip kiss. Obviously it's been a very romantic chat. It's very intense the way they were looking at each other. Oh, flowers, red flowers. Red romantic flowers. He must be feeling romantic and just wanting a little bit of courage. And they're both flirting and talking, just finding out what the other one wants. intense peering into each other's eyes, undoubtedly making great revelations of their affection and attraction for each other. What's he gonna... Oh, romantic photo together. That'll be something we might try to remember to hang on their wall at home. So I'm sure they're going to end up at home together after they get married. They've got to become boyfriend and girlfriend first. Oh, another kiss. I think they've got a chance. Of course, either one of them can do something to completely mess the whole thing up. I checked, and they are now officially boyfriend and girlfriend. Progress is being made. Wow. It's getting late and it's cold, so it's time to go home. There's 2 cats now, and they're having a little get-to-know-you session. Wilfred's got to become BFF of both of them. And then we'll add another one, become BFF of it, and then he can go try to adopt a unicorn. And then he'd have his lifetime wish. Wendy needs to marry him to get her lifetime wish because she wants 5 babies. Let's see if we can get Wilfred to do something with this new cat. I don't think he's really a natural for animals somehow. Because although both of these cats have got traits that would make them very easy for him to befriend them, it's just not happening. I hope the cat's enjoying the being brushed. I think he's happy too that he's finally got a girlfriend, an official girlfriend, and he's somebody's boyfriend at last, because he wants babies as well. So we've got to keep working on this garden. It looks like it needs to be taken care of. Every morning at 3 a.m. it turns into this sort of a mess, and then the Sims have to come and look after it. It's good when they're trying to build their gardening skill, but once they've got all the gardening skill they need, well then we probably have to hire some gardeners to come and look after it for them. Until there's no garden left, then we might use this room for something else. All 3 of them have got a lot of gardening skill to learn. Of course, Lionel is going to be getting married to Latoya, but not until after there's about another 4 or 5 weddings. So he's going to have quite a while to wait. He's been working on his reading. He's one of the more studious ones. He's not been dropping his cues or anything like that when he's got a lot of books to read. And he's been sticking to the lessons, such as when I ask him to go and do some gardening, unlimited gardening, he just goes and does it. I don't think he's got any fishing skill yet. But I think these 2 imaginary friends, I need them to get their skills before some of the potential spouses get theirs, because I want to get them out of the house, because we've got 3 more imaginary friends to be made real and move in here to learn skills. And the house, well, we don't want it overflowing with Sims and crashing the game. So I've got to speed up the advancement of both Rachel and Clara. I'm trying to find things for Wilfred to upgrade, because he's got a wish to upgrade 5 things. Not that he really needs the lifetime happiness points, but why not get them? And I'm having trouble finding things left to be upgraded. Then I thought of that, like a cooking machine. It's being upgraded for good fortunes only. Now we've got Mark and Karen studying. Karen will be the last one to get married of all this lot. And Stan sitting beside her, he will be the next one to head off to Cake Island. But he won't be going when Wilfred and Wendy go home, because there's already 2 potential spouses from this household already in Cake Island. So that house is a bit full. Looks like Wilfred's trying to give a presentation, but no one's interested in listening to him. Just got to watch those Sims don't decide to start flirting with each other. Is that skeleton going to kick over that gnome? Doesn't look like it. Maybe she just picked it up. I'd be very surprised for it is standing behind a gnome like that without having to kick it. Okay, I've found 3 of the potential male spouses have not got any fishing skill at all. And since the lake is no longer frozen, it's quicker to get them all to learn to fish at the same time. So I've sent them all down to the lake. That's 2 of them there together. There's a little boat tied to a post. That's not a Sim. I think it's Jack and Mark, and the one over here is Lionel. So they're starting out with no fishing skill whatsoever. And they're just going to stand here and fish. I think there's less chance of them pulling a gnome out of the lake than there is out of the wishing well, although they haven't been getting a lot of gnomes out of the wishing well, but they have managed to get a few. Of course, these three haven't got any because they haven't been fishing in the wishing well, but I thought it'd be quicker to get them all fishing at the lake than to make them individually get through their 7 levels of fishing one at a time at the wishing well. And I don't want to add 3 wishing wells to the household. I suppose I could scatter them around town, but then they'd still be out in the weather when it's snowing. Karen keeps coming to the festival grounds because she really enjoys collecting the eggs. And she's got about 5 or 6 fancy eggs now and a springtime gnome. She thought she'd have a bit of a break from egg collecting, and she's learning to skate. I found that the eggs appear first thing in the morning, which is when I know they're supposed to appear. But I've also often able to get them just as the sun goes down, so I'm not sure what sort of a glitch that is. She's the last one who's going to get married, so I thought I'd play with her a bit while the others all read their books and learn their skills. She's still got lots of reading to do and a few skills to get, but she's doing okay. It's getting night time again, so they're heading off for another date, and they're going to the ice lounge. They've gone here because I've never really used it before. It came as a reward for buying something. I don't know whether it was buying from an expansion or a stuff pack or something from Origin or what it was. And now I got it when I bought something from Origin anyway. It's not something you can just go get from the store, and it didn't come in a stuff pack or an expansion pack. It was something that was only available. Of course, if you buy it from Origin now, it might still come with it. I don't know. I've got a mod where I can make any bar a professional bar. So this Ice Lounge bar is not a professional bar, but I've added the actions of a professional bar to it, which is why it's got a bartender. I think there's only about 3 professional bars that we got, and they're all much the same. They all came with late night. And we had so many juice bars that all looked different. They weren't capable of being turned into professional bars. But with that mod, you can turn any bar into a professional bar, and that's what I really enjoy doing. They spent quite a lot of time here, and they had quite a look around at the various levels. I think there's 3 levels. This will need decorating. Are they going to dance? Though it's got quite a lot of stuff in it. There's not much room, but I could put some decor objects around it, I think. This is just as it came, with the exception of I've changed the bars to professional bars using a mod. I think there's music coming out of the speakers. When they make these things, it's the stuff that they make for the venue, plus they might add a bit of base game things as well. So there'll be base game speakers in there. I think that's what they were dancing to. And here they are watching the stars. At least they've got some chance of seeing the stars out here. This was something they decided to do themselves. I didn't tell them to do it. It's all very romantic anyway. There wasn't much happening at the ice lounge, so they decided to go to the dome and see what they could find there. It could be a lot more fun. More space to move around anyway. I think they're happy that they got romantic because they were such best friends for such a long time, but with no romance in their relationship, and now it's all happened, and it's working for them too. There's a wedding arch off in the background. I was planning to use that for the weddings, but it was going to be a bit cramped. So I made the extra little wedding venue downstairs in the basement, which I think works quite nicely. And I always wanted that basement to have extra things in it. I'll probably put some more extra rooms in it eventually, different things. So I was tempted to put a venue at one end for them to have bachelor parties, but I didn't. I added extra venues to the world instead. Or I added one extra venue to the world for the party. We'll see the parties in episode 31. No time for them in this episode. Those two are having a lovely, quiet, alone time in the dome. It looks like they've been out all night. The sky is getting blue. The sun must be up. Things must be getting serious if they're going to the massage route. She seems to be enjoying his massage. He's probably enjoying giving it to her as well. Hope so anyway. Oh look, it's it. Here is the proposal. Is she going to accept? Of course she's going to accept. She's over the moon with excitement. Yes, oh, hugs. Now they're officially engaged. There's no wedding outfits on them at the moment, so when I take them into Create a Sim or Stylist, whatever, to give them their wedding outfits, I will give him a new outdoor outfit as well. And this is the end of the video. We've got them watching the stars in the dome. They can see through the dome. The fireflies are still out, so it looks like the game must still count this as night time. So perhaps they can see some stars, but it looks to me as though the sky is a bit too bright for stars to be shining through at the moment. Otherwise, this would be the only couple that I've had so far that have only chosen to watch stars in places where they could actually see the stars. Be good if I could get them to catch some of those fireflies and will-o'-the-wisps. But there's no time for that in this episode. We might start the next episode with them still here, doing a bit of catching of the wildlife. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you've enjoyed it, you know I really enjoy getting likes because that tells YouTube that it was an enjoyable video and they might actually recommend it to other people. And if you haven't subscribed, well then subscribing would be a good idea if you want to see the wedding and other episodes. You don't want to miss them. It'll probably be about a week before I get the next one up. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching and bye-bye for now and happy simming. See the will-o'-the-wisps in the background? Those big fluffy light balls in the distance? Bye-bye.